bong has us outnumbered at 94 to our 27. This shall not stand. Also, I really want to get back to watching Nick talk about the 11th Airborne. So we're speed running these fucking news articles. Because goddamn. Nintendo censors scene of enemy Goombas catcalling female party member from Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door remake. It should come to no surprise that fucking what do they call it? It's like Nintendo Treehouse. I forget what. Yeah, I think it's Nintendo Treehouse or whatever. They're fucking the fucking Nintendo's internal translation group and stuff. They fucking SJW the SEG a lot of translations for Nintendo games over the years at this point. And to hear them censor this latest one's not really much of a surprise. So long story short, in the 1,000-Year Door, once it's like it's one of the early missions, like one of your first missions in the game. You know, you get Goombella and come across a few Goombas, and they're like, "Hey, baby," it's like, "What's up, baby? Why don't you come hang out with us for a while? We play real nice." I feel I should probably put a Spanish twinge on that one. But yeah, they censor it out. Let's see. There we are. Typically, service level snobs are so stuck up. Ooh, I get to see the sun, like breathe the clean air. Ooh, instead of catcalling, they're kind of just like, oh, you surface dwellers. But it's like, nah, the original one's literally like, hey, baby. So I don't know. I thought this little censorship was kind of silly cute, but again, it's Nintendo nowadays, and I'm not terribly surprised. Oh god, what is this one? Spear Media addresses Lara Croft pinups being removed from Tomb Raider 1-3 remasters. Okay, so we covered about this a while back over the last little while. So, latest update for the Tomb Raider remaster, they get rid of the pin-up pictures in the remake, and this is literally their cope. Where is it? Fuck. Where is it? Going over the article portions we covered already previously. But where's this cope? Aha, here it is. Thank you to the Tomb Raider community for your continued feedback and support of Tomb Raider 1-3 Remaster starring Lara Croft. In the recently released patch 2, we made several texture and graphical updates to the HD version. As part of these updates, the posters with Sleeping with the Fishes, the Lost Artifact, were inadvertently removed from an HD version of the game. Fuck off! You got caught! You didn't accidentally remove that shit. You got fucking caught, you pieces of shit. Okay? It's like, ooh, we accidentally removed those textures. It's like, bullshit. You got caught. Eat shit, you pieces of fuck. God damn. They got caught, and look, they got caught, and now they're back. Fucking cunts. Oh, God. Okay, next. GameSpot editor Jessica Coxwell describes petition and plan to uncensor Stellar Blade as the most unhinged behavior I've seen in quite some time. So TLDR, we are cover this here. Grums, aka Mark Kern, has we're going to be covering. There's a couple articles to go over this here. Has started effectively started a little boycott on Stellar Blade, saying like, okay, they promised all the people behind Stellar Blade promised all this here shit at the beginning, and they're going back on a lot of these promises, including like outfits and like level gore and all that stuff. Like Sony is fucking rolling back everything. Okay, like we thought that Stellar Blade was going to be this, like the Korean. We thought like we were sold that Stellar Blade was going to be the Korean version of fucking Nier Automata. You know, we have our dump truck robot chick going around killing shit and stuff, and they're rolling that back hard right now. And it's not just Sony, like it's also the developers of the game are rolling shit back right now, and they're getting called out for it, justifiably so. And of course, all the little chicken shits, such as GameSpot editor Jessica Cogwell, are fucking coming out of the woodwork and circling the goddamn wagons as they always do. And of course, she's like, it's like, oh, it's like this little tiny boycott, and the fucking the little pissing gamers and their boycotts. Me, 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 me. It's like, oh, fuck off. Good evening. So, let's see, Kern petition. Coswell react. Okay, so here's to the new stuff. Coswell reacted to writing the next. This is the most unhinged behavior I've seen in quite some time. And I have a 2-year-old. It's like, oh, fuck off. And this is the most unhinged 2-year-old. And Coswell is no stranger to attacking game developer. And it's going over some other instances of her, throwing shade and shit like that. It's like, like, man, I don't know how all these incel gamer dudes are expecting games to have hot characters and characters represent them at the same time. And on that topic, we have another article lined up. Just put a pin in that one. Lamau, these replies got a life weirdos. When do we ever say we want representation? Every other fucking time you collective tweets is about how woke characters and women are in every role. You miss this white men being allowed in things. Yes, literally, verbatim even. And of course, this is the same chick I covered before, where she was like, I don't like using the term JRPG because that there is very racist and it should just be RPG. It's like, wah, wah, wah. It's like, motherfucker, JRPGs are doing better than your Western RPGs at this point right now. And that's why you don't like the term, because they're doing better than you fucking cunt. Yeah, and also like, hey, a quick reminder, white people, as a white person, we definitely don't need to weigh in and give our take. That's pretty definitely not in our lane. Let's listen to what black peers are saying. Respect ideas and opinions subject, please. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, more white people crap, as she's always wanting to do at this point. But again, the main point is that she's one of the members circling the wagons on the Mark Kern boycott / petition thing for Stellar Blade, and the Stellar Blade development team going back on all their promises and stuff. And we're going to be seeing more of this as this goes on. JRPG is racist, huh? To the racist now is a synonym for better. I'm not going to say maybe Hitler had a point, but it seems to be getting there. It's not even I have to make that statement. It's like they're making that statement for me that Hitler's right. It's not me saying that, it's them saying that. So in a roundabout way, I should almost thank them for that. Okay, so springing off of that, evil individual places a $20,000 bounty on Grums, aka Mark Kern, for beginning campaign to uncensor Stellar Blade. World of Warcraft lead Mark Kern has had a bounty placed on his head after he launched a campaign to uncensor Stellar Blade. And get to the actual thingy. Hello, Park Place. I love you. Love you reiterating everything, because you can just read the one article and get the full context. But given how many of these I cover, it's kind of just like, okay, let's get to the new stuff. Okay, so here's Grums commenting on it. So now they want to hire hitmen and take me out. What I tell everyone, they want you dead over game tweets. I had 4 or 5 calls of violence today alone because I am asking for Stellar Blade to be restored to what was advertised. And the guy doing the Tone Man, 2K to anyone who makes this dipshit disappear. He also added, this guy broke federal law and put a bounty on my head, tweeting about Stellar Blade. My take, those are rookie numbers. My favorite anime character is far more impressive. Okay. Okay, fucking bash the stampede. Okay. Okay. Okay, he got a good hearty chuckle from me for making a Trigun reference. For making a goddamn Trigun reference, you got a good chuckle at me. My brother in Christ, do you still remember what Hitler's ideas were like? I know, but that's the joke. That's the joke. That's like Daniel. Have you ever played the game Nazi or Movie Bob? This is literally the case. Is it Nazi or Movie Bob at this point? So that was that. Okay, continuing on. This is like Stellar Blade back to backness. Gamers began canceling PlayStation Network subscriptions to free Stellar Blade from censorship. Dozens, if not hundreds, or potentially even thousands of gamers are canceling their PlayStation Network subscriptions in protest of censorship in Stellar Blade. The official Stellar Blade account on X promised on April 21st that the game would be uncensored in all countries where it was released. I remember this because I covered it the instant they made that post, and by golly, they've gone back on it. And this is where we're at right now. The account posted Stellar Blade offers the same uncensored version in all countries, including Japanese version. And that is some grade A bullshit as we've seen. Camera, don't fuck up on me. Gamers discovered the game has indeed been censored with a number of outfits. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. We've been over this before. They're censoring the outfits and censoring the gore. The Grum's petition. There we go. Okay, so here we are to the new stuff. Numerous gamers have done so. Steery444 posted, cancel my subscription, undo censorship PlayStation and Sony free Stellar Blade. So, you know, like whenever you do whenever you unsubscribe from service, there's always like a fill out the reason why kind of stuff. And that's what people are doing in this little mini little boycott protest thing here. And just going over other examples of people saying like I'm canceling my subscription because of this and blah blah blah. Free at a virtual nipple. Many such cases. And just going over a bunch of others. Like a lot of these people are just kind of like reposting screen caps of people that, you know, doing this cancel my subscription campaign stuff. And whether or not it's over 18,000 individuals to sign his petition and stuff, you know, it's kind of academic at this point and stuff. It's just like, you know, this is a thing that's happening. And honestly, I would like get refunds and stuff for this game because literally, like, okay, look at it from a legal perspective right now, like look at it from a business legal perspective right now. This is literally verbatim, no offensive buts, false advertising. They're committing false advertising. And that's a perfectly valid reason for you to get a refund. That's all it comes down to it. They fucked up. Oh, yes. Okay. Back to this cunt. Kotaku senior editor Alyssa Mercante continues to play victim as she attacks their Blade and gamers. Article published in Kotaku, April 19. Mercante attempts to argue the character attractiveness in Stellar Blade and Hades 2 is fundamentally different. Do I have that article lined up? Do I have that article lined up? I don't think I do. Could have sworn I did. Am I just blind? Just looking at my list of articles, I could have sworn. Grums, the canceling, play victim, Grums again, She-Hulk actress, Lord of the Rings of Power. Fuck. I must be losing my mind. Okay, so long story short, because this article published by Kotaku is its own talking point. So long story short, I covered before that the when Stellar Blade first came out, all these little chuckle fucks were saying like, "Oh, the male fantasy of lusting after this robot woman, it's, you know, filthy and misogynist and all that jazz and stuff and blah 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 blah." But then I covered an article of them literally in the same breath. Hades, like, you know, the one I covered last time was when Hades 2, them lusting after Aphrodite and the other new characters they're implementing and stuff. And it's like, oh, when we lust after fictional video game characters, it's perfectly fine when we do it, but when you guys do it, you're a bunch of misogynistic chuds, and it's okay when we do it, kind of thing. And that's what that their segment there is talking about. And she's continuing to go on about that stuff now, continuing with the Stellar Blade, as we've been covering for the last couple articles. She writes, despite what certain corners of the internet might believe, this is irrelevant, related to the attractive thingy. And people in modern video games, Baldur's Gate 3 just got Game of the Year award record, and that game was full of hotties. But when compared to something like Stellar Blades, Eve, the standard bearer for the latest gamer culture war, the manner in which Hades depicts his characters and attractiveness is fundamentally different. No, it's not, you fucking cunt. It's literally the same shit. Fuck off. None of the double standard shit, okay? One standard will do just fine. Fuck. Yeah, going over calling her a sex doll. Contrast with Hades 2, the cope. Just, you can feel the cope coming off of this cunt. Get to the play victim part. Where is it? Aha, here we go. Okay. Nevertheless, Mercante doubled down on her argument on April 27. She wrote next, Baldur's Gate 2 is an RPG which you can have sexual relationships. Customizing your entire character's body, even genitals, makes sense. You can't one-to-one compare the other games and the bodies depicted them. They're not RPGs. Yet they're trying it. She added, one gust to win and the House of Cards falls every time. Then they get another deck and a new issue to screech about and build a new one, rinse and repeat. I draw attention to it because I'm still being endlessly harassed by those filthy fucking juds. Those filthy fucking gamers. For an article even tangentially relating to, from nearly 2 months ago. Mercante then concludes her thread, just ignore them. Okay, sure, last time we largely ignored them. As an industry, they took as tactic approval, so just saying. I'm sensing a bit of projection in this one. Mercante's arguments make absolutely no sense, given you are comparing things to other things. That's the whole point of comparisons. I agree. Logic is logic. What a shock. And even if you want to get into nitty gritty for argument, to claim that you can't make one-to-one comparisons, well, she did it first. You see, you made the fatal mistake of not only attacking Russia in the wintertime, in that it's okay when they do it. As you know, above, she compared Hades 2 to Stellar Blade, and by her own admission, that's not really one-to-one comparison. Again, her words. Oh, God. Okay. And again, the Stellar Blade nonsense continues. Because Elon Musk X appears to suppress Grumm's free Stellar Blade campaign. The long and short of this one here is that it seems like Musk didn't clean house nearly well enough, and that there's still people on the inside doing the woke agenda nonsense and stuff. And the free Stellar Blade hashtag does not show up on autocomplete unless you misspell it. So if you spell it correctly and stuff, or just like any permutation of it, like trying to lead up in the correct spelling, it will not show up as a hashtag. You have to purposely misspell the hashtag for it to show up in the list. And that's one of those kind of things where you do it, that's on purpose. Okay? That's not a whoopsie doopsie. It's like, we did a fucky wucky thing. No, that's on purpose. And going over screen cap examples of that. And of course, Grums, immediately Grums notices that, or someone that, messages him about it, but he's like, this is an all Twitter censorship trick. This is how hashtags are deboosted. We saw this plenty in the original Gamergate days. The correctly spell tag is deboosted, so only misspelled tags show up. Elon Musk, you got rats in the system pulling all dirty tricks. He would later add, censor the game, censor Grums talking about it, put out a 20k hit on me, now censor the hashtag, these people are showing their true colors. Again, when all this here shit started, I like when the Sweet Baby Incorporated shit started, I called it Gamergate 2 very early on, and because that's exactly what it was going to end up being, and fucking they're doing the same shit as last time. This is nothing new. It's the same shit again. Every day I'm justified in calling it Gamergate 2 because that's literally what it is. It's so sad and pathetic for all the reasons you think of. Oh, fuck. Fucking Christ. Yeah, going over the hit, going over for censorship. Yep, so that's that. Okay, we're sitting at 30. What's the bong sitting at? 72. Double check. Yep, 72. Doo-doo-doo. Ah, there we go. Okay, next. She-Hulk actress Tatiana Maslany continues to attack critics as sexist. So, for those of you who don't know, this the star of the TV version of She-Hulk has been long because She-Hulk has been a complete trash fire since it started airing, and right out of the gate, all the show creators and all the actors involved were like, "Wah, you are just like little tiny, it's the same. It's the same shit as the Gamergate 2 stuff. It's like, wah, you're insecure little chuds. Wah, you're a bunch of misogynists. Wah, wah, wah." It's like, no, we're not. You suck. That's all we're saying is that you suck. She-Hulk actress continues to attack critics of Marvel Studios' production Disney Plus as sexist. In an interview with The Independent, Maslany was asked about by the outlet's Tom Murray. Hey, Murray has a job. Sorry, Murray. Okay, I'm bad. You don't work for the Independent. That's a low blow even for me. How she handled the inevitable way of sexist backlash. Oh, this is gonna be good. Maslany told Murray, I think what's exciting, I think what's fun. Oh God, I gotta slip into thinking of it like Ebonics. Goddamn, this American African American vernacular syntax. Fuck. I think what's fun about it is that Jessica Gao built into the story that people were going to troll us. She continued, when we started to get the same responses that Gao had actually baked into the writing, it felt like part of the fun. Sani's comments are not unheard of. After the show's conclusion, she was asked by Variety's John Moray, in addition to breaking the fourth wall, the finale tackles some of the exact same trolling comments the Marvel fans have been making. How did it feel to watch happen as the show aired, knowing the finale would turn out? She responded, Jessica Gao is a genius and knows about the culture we're living in. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can't keep a straight face. I just can't. And her position in what she's writing these stories about women superheroes, she knows what the response is going to be. As a cast, it was a delightful sending each other these troll responses like, "Oh my God, give them a week and see how they're going to literally see this pop up verbatim in the show, become the villain of the show." It was thrilling. When asked, were you expecting to face trolls when you signed onto the show, Maslany responded, reading the script, it was so true. There's so much resistance to a woman just existing in a space of superheroes. Oh, fuck off. There's always going to be that. I sort of anticipated. That's why I feel it's important. There's such an entitlement to space held by certain people that even exists as She-Hulk is like a fuck you, and I love that. She elaborated. It's like, no, She-Hulk is an established character, and you fucking ruined it by sucking. That's what people are complaining about, and that you suck. Wait, it's obvious that these people don't believe in their own ideology. All that this is just clownery to enrich the fool consumers and subjugate the market. Why argue with a symptom if it doesn't help? Monopolies will simply come up with new psyops, and buyers will continue to lose. Yes, Daniel. Water is wet. That's literally all this is. Thank you for putting more words to it. Stop watching Proctor. You're picking up his bad habits. You're using many words to say few words when few words could do just as good. Oh, God. Blah, blah, blah. More belly aching. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, good job. I'm fishing here. Nobody has any leads. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so a long story short, I just love this here. She was, should we hope for a season 2 of She-Hulk Eternate Law? Ms. Lana responded, I don't think so. I think we blew our budget, and Disney is like, no thanks. No, and that you blew your budget and that your ratings were shit. not only did you blow your ratings, blow your budget, your ratings were shit, and you just sucked. No one watched. As modern Disney does, they'll take the big pile of money, just throw a bunch of kerosene on it, and light a match. Poof, gone. Total waste of time, total waste of money. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's that. Okay, last Park Place article. Then moving on to our tried and true Zero Hedge list. Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, director Charlotte. That's a long A. Brandstrom bemoans Tolkien fans judging the show before it came out. Ah, yes, this cunt. Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power director Charlotte. I'm not even going to try again anymore. Charlotte bemoaned the fact that Tolkien fans and potential viewers of the Prime Video series judged the show before it came out. Yes, because you are Amazon doing any adaptation and stuff. Like, I followed the development of Rings of Power from day one because I saw what they did to my beloved series. Like they murdered my child, the Wheel of Time, and I knew once they got the license for Lord of the Rings, I'm like, I know exactly what they're going to do, and this is going to be a shit show, and I'm going to watch the shit show unfold from the ground floor. And by golly, it did not disappoint, and followed all the points I kind of figured they were going to hit perfectly. Like Black Elves and all that jazz. But also like inserting all these total OC donut steals and totally rewriting a bunch of old Tolkien lore is just like, I have to remind people that this show, the Rings of Power show, only exists because Tolkien's son, Christopher Tolkien, is dead. That's the only reason why it exists. Is because Christopher Tolkien, bought the farm, and the Tolkien estate. After Tolkien died and his son died, afterwards, no one gives a shit. Like Christopher Tolkien was like the last bastion of like, no, my father's work is important, and you're going to treat it right. Once he was gone, we ended up with Rings of Power. What a shock. Where are some good lines of her being a fucking cunt? Let's see. Here we go. Then she said, the sad thing is a lot of people had judged the show before it even came out. That was actually tough. Then you try to adapt to that and see what they're really looking for. Some fans were mixing Peter Jackson films with Tolkien's work and were trying to stay true to Tolkien and give it a really cool look. Brandstrom elaborated, I love Peter Jackson film. That's why we got involved in the first place. So I guess we try to mix everything, and the new season is definitely darker, edgier, is more drama. I don't control everything, but I hope people like it. Comments do not reflect reality. A report from the Hollywood Reporter's Kim Masters in April 2023 revealed the viewers did give the show a chance, but upon realizing the show was a bait and switch and had nothing to do with Tolkien's Second Age, as they quickly found out, because they said like before The Hobbit, before the Lord of the Rings and stuff, and there's like, oh, they're gonna do Silmarillion and they're gonna do Silmarillion and Forgotten Tales. It's like, no, they're just gonna rewrite like a total like OC level fan fiction. That's all it ended up being and stuff. And whatever quote unquote like real characters they had, they totally fucked on those characters. Master's report, while Amazon, like our streamers, provided unlimited data and internally it held information even more closely than usual in the series. I wonder fucking why. Sources confirmed that the Rings of Power had a 37% domestic completion rate. Customers who watched the entire series overseas reached 45%. A 50% completion rate would be a solid but not spectacular result, according to insiders. The show has not been a major awards contender either, overlooked by the major guilds, with the exception of the SAG after a nomination for Stunt Ensemble, she added. As for the claim the fans were mixing up Peter Jackson's work with Tolkien's work, it appeared that is projection on her part, and she admits we tried mix everything. Production, many such cases. They can't create, only distort. That's literally it. That's always going to be the case with these chuckle fucks. That they can't create, only. I would even go so far as to say, not just distort, but corrupt. Okay, like they can't create. Like, this is an age old thing. It's like the Velma series and every other permutation of shit like that. Is like, it's not that they it's not it's like they can't create, and not only cannot they can create, they must bring down to their level things that are successful. Okay, it's not about bringing up, like the little guy and stuff, like what they profess to want to do, bring up the little guy. No, what they want to do is knock down everyone else to their level, to be as miserable as they are. Okay, that's all it ever is. It's not about building up, it's about knocking down. That's all it comes down to. Going over all the different changes. I'm not going to bore you. So I like this closing line. Maybe if Prime Video, Amazon Studio, showrunner J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, and directors like Brandstone done a true adaptation of Tolkien's Second Age, viewers would have not torched the show and abandoned it en masse, and I agree. But they did, so sucks to suck. Fuck. Where are we at? 33, 34. He's still going. Oh my god, he's still going. But I'm cutting into his bottom line. Okay. Now moving from Clown World to my the regular scheduled normal Clown World. And let's start off with our stream mandated token. I think there's actually a couple of articles this time around of COVID news articles. Excess deaths in Japan hit 115,000 following third COVID shot. New study explains why. A new study on harms resulting from COVID vaccine was published on April 8th in the US-based peer-reviewed medical science journal Curious. Okay, this is going to bug me now. It represents the largest study to date in the adverse effects of the COVID gene therapy, and the results are shocking, to put it mildly. I'm getting better. I got my medical strike on YouTube, and by golly, I'm going to stick to my guns. In the study title, increased age-adjusted cancer mortality after the third mRNA lipid nanoparticle gene therapy dose during the COVID-19 pandemic in Japan, 5 Japanese scientists used an entire data set of the country's 123 million population. Japan has the highest vaccination rate in the world, to study excess cancer mortalities coinciding with mass COVID gene therapies. The authors also provide a sound explanation as to why these deaths occurred after mRNA injection. As a former vaccine researcher, I read Curtis, who's writing this? Joe Wang of the Epoch Times. Okay, so this science reporter actually knows what he's talking about. A rare incidence of that happening in this day and age, I might add. Let's see, my fellow Epoch Times columnist Megan Radshaw had written an excellent article on the study. Here I would like to highlight some points I think are worth reiterating. Let's see, so over 115,000 excess deaths. Let's just get to the fun a little bit. Yeah, so here's the rub. Here's the rub of this, is that the harm is done by the gene therapy and not the virus itself. Let's see. 6 types of cancer are significant excessive deaths. So what's special about this here? After a jazz scientific explanation. Okay, so here's a real meat and potatoes of it. I worked as a research scientist at Sanofi Pasteur, one of the world's largest vaccine companies, for more than 10 years. As a person who spearheaded Sanofi's SARS-CoV-1 vaccine development in 2003, I personally found this hypothesis presented by Japanese scientists very reasonable. Please bear with me on the scientific terms because they are important in understanding the possible roles that mRNA vaccine may have had in the cancer development. ERs, estrogen receptors, are, this is important, this here section here is actually really important, so I'm going to go over verbatim, are a group of proteins found inside cells They are receptors that can be activated by the sex hormone estrogen. ER alpha is one of the two classes of ERs, an important regulator of the body's reproductive system. Research is published in the peer-reviewed journal Science Advances in November 2022 screened 9,000 human proteins to see which protein bind better with the spike S protein, the SARS-CoV-2, found that the S protein specifically binds to the ER alpha. The binding unregulates the transcription activity of the ER alpha. In other words, the S protein SARS-CoV-2 from infection or vaccination, when introduced to the human body, binds to the ER alpha and functions as a nuclear receptor co-regulator, interfering with the cell's normal function and leading to malfunction of cells and organs. I'm going to repeat this here section because this is really important. Okay, when introduced to the human body, binds to ER alpha and functions as a nuclear receptor co-regulator, interfering with the cell's normal function and leading to malfunctions in cells and organs, otherwise known as cancer. What's your estimate? Estimates in Japan, I think we'll see the end of a nation. Oh, that they sealed their faith in the 90s. This may explain why deaths caused by 6 types of ER alpha sensitive cancers increased in 2022. In Japan, after 2/3 of the population received the third dose of the mRNA gene therapy. The gene therapy carries the S gene of SARS-CoV-2, hijacking host cells to produce S proteins. The S proteins produced inside the cell then bind to the ER alpha, disrupting the cell's normal function and leading to cancer development. That's what it comes down to. Okay? Cancer is a disease in which some of the body cells grow uncontrollably and spread to other parts of the body. For any healthy person, some cells die, some age, and some become cancerous. All this happens without the person knowing because the body's immune system is constantly working to deal with such problems. However, this is the important part, if the immune system is compromised, such as by taking experimental gene therapy, illness then develops, including cancer. Plenty of evidence has started to emerge showing that COVID-19 gene therapy has the potential to severely interfere with the human body's immune system. This new Japanese study provides further evidence, which we have a mountain of, and I cover every time it comes up, but this is just the latest one on the pile. Further evidence of the extent of this phenomenon. And just going on to, vaccination suppression and the cancer, immunosurveillance, the damage caused by COVID gene therapies would have been less if the gene therapies wasn't as widespread and the dosage of the gene therapies weren't as high due to boosters. Because, again, this is what it comes down to. It's like you were mandated by law in a lot of instances to take it and continue taking it. So you were taking poison like, 2, 3, 4, 5 different, like the Wojak memes we saw during the pandemic of like, I have all my boosters, and like the Wojak is just full of fucking needles from like head to toe, that kind of stuff. It's like, not only were you taking a bad thing, you were taking a shit ton of the bad thing. So no wonder people are dropping like flies. Authorities across the world still claim the COVID-19 gene therapy is safe and effective. We've beaten that horse to death. And continue pushing gene therapies is uncertain what future holds, blah, blah, blah. Studies like the one by a Japanese scientist should have been undertaken in countries such as the United States, Canada, and UK and published in top medical journals without censorship, but we all know how that went. So that we can learn the mistakes and prevent the mistakes from happening again. They weren't mistakes. Okay, a conspiracy is just 2 guys trying to fuck over a 3rd guy. These aren't mistakes. Okay, a conspiracy to fuck over the 3rd guy is not a mistake. It's intentional. Okay, all this shit is intentional. Never forget. Never forget. Never forgive. Okay, all that. It's like, oh, we didn't know what we were doing. It's time for forgiveness. No, fuck off. You want me to die? Get bent. Eat shit and die yourself, sir. Fuck. Okay, blood pressure raised. Next. Okay, this is a good white pill one. Tennessee is first state to criminalize adults who help minors receive gender-affirming care without parental consent. Tennessee GOP-controlled State House on Thursday approved approval criminalizing adults who help minors receive gender affirming care without parental consent, clearing the way for the first in the nation proposal to send to Governor Bill Lee's desk for a signature. As the AP reports, the bill mirrors almost the same language from the so-called anti-abortion trafficking proposal Tennessee Republican lawmakers approved just a day prior. In that version, supporters are hoping to stop adults from helping young people obtain abortions without permission from the parents or guardians. Supporters of Lee, a Republican, are certain he will sign into law. Lee eagerly approved a sweeping abortion ban and ban on gender affirming care for children. He also never issued a veto during his time as governor. And so on and so forth. So, it's like, again, I've been saying this for a while. The pendulum swinging, but the pendulum swing is going to be slow. It's going to be total, and it's going to be fucking hard. And this is just another instance of that. Of the, like, leave the kids alone, let the parents be parents. You know, states, fuck the federal government. Let state laws be paramount. The Civil War with states' rights, about state rights. State rights to what? State rights to be assholes. Oh shit. My favorite subject, ESG. European ESG funds witness heavy decline in inflows. Color me surprised. Yeah, like the reason, not really reason at this point, but the pivot of BlackRock and Vanguard and all those other fucking financial firms and stuff, it just continues to prove the age-old adage, communism works up until the point you run out of other people's money. And in this instance, all these ESG funds were not productive. In fact, lost a shit ton of a lot of people a lot of money. And of course, if a investment basket, if an investment vehicle loses you money, people aren't going to continue to put in money into it if it does not work. And these here things by design were never meant to work. Okay. Like all these ESG funds, all, like ESG, DEI, the bridge, everything, all this here nonsense and stuff was not designed to make money. It was designed to allow, all this here was designed to allow bad behavior. Okay. So all the systems of control, like all the diversity stuff and, like the SEG ratings and all that crap and stuff. Like all this here was to promote that, but not actually in and of themselves make money. And as I've said repeatedly over the years of point, as I repeatedly said, when publicly traded companies are required by law to work in the best interest of the shareholders, that is a long-winded way of saying the companies are required by law to make money. And that if you take all your money and light it on fire, you are effectively breaking the law and are subjecting yourselves to the liability of being sued by the investors because you are not working in the investors' best interest. And that's why a lot of this ESG nonsense is going away, because a lot of this ESG nonsense is going through the courts right now, and they are going to fucking get raped. You mean the thing doesn't make money and doesn't make money? Color me shocked. I know. Sounds like I've been saying this since day one. So, long story short, all these here different ESG baskets and all these funds are, the main point of this here is that there's no new, the long point of this here article is that there's no new, the Ponzi scheme is effectively failing right now because there's no new money going into the Ponzi scheme. And because there's no new money going into the scheme, it's going to fall apart even faster. Before it wasn't making, it wasn't making money to begin with and stuff, but there's no new because we've had years of this point of failure, there's no new suckers coming in to prop it up even more. So the momentum of it collapsing is just all that more, potent at this point. which is great. This is a good thing. Because fuck these guys. Oh, shit. Hey, Dale, I'm talking about Russia. My increasing Russian audience. Take note. I'm talking about you guys now. Again, I never shit on the people of the country. I always shit on their governments. Russia will target U.S. nuclear weapons in Poland if they appear. I covered recently that Poland wants to have nuclear weapons on their soil. The current speculation, which is the speculation I agree with, is not going to be American nuclear weapons on Polish soil. It's going to be the British nuclear weapons on Polish soil. But it's largely arguing semantics at this point. But since all those reports have come out, Russia has, said back, look, if you put nukes on our doorstep, which is, the plan, like the Cuban Missile Crisis back in the day with, nukes in Turkey, if you have them in the backyard, we're going to take them out. And, this is literally the Cuban Missile Crisis, but instead of Cuba and Turkey, it's going to be, the fucking Poles, the fucking Polacks. You are the blood, yes. Poland can't into space, but Poland can certainly become a nuclear crater at this point. Fuck. Russia has warned that Poland will make itself a priority target if it hosts NATO nuclear weapons on its territory. In a Thursday statement, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabakov said the moves in this direction will not provide greater security for Poland or other nations to host such weapons. Has further quoted Russian media as saying, Moscow considers any expansion of NATO's nuclear sharing arrangement as deeply destabilizing in nature and, in fact, threatening to Russia. Was quoted as saying the task on Thursday that supplies to joint missions where non-nuclear members of the U.S.-led bloc are trained to use American hardware, and even more so permanent station such weapons, which hotheads in Warsaw are talking about, he said. To follow up, the foreign minister spokeswoman Zaria Zarkova stipulated that any nuclear weapons deployed to Poland would be legitimate targets in the event of war with the alliance. Russian media translation said Moscow would see this as a priority target. All this was a response to the words issued by Polish President Andrzej Duda in a Monday interview. He said his country is ready to host nuclear weapons should NATO decide to do so as reinforcements to the eastern flank. It remains that the United States chiefly supplies and oversees NATO's nuclear sharing program, thus any possible future nukes in Poland will be supplied by Washington, but I'm kind of more on team. It's probably going to be British. They'll probably put that there just to give Washington the plausible deniability. It's like, oh, we're not the ones putting it there, so that kind of like neener, I'm not touching you, neener kind of mentality is probably how it's going to play out, if I'm being honest. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, that's where we stand. That's where we stand on Grandpa Godzilla's World War III. Ooh, do I have that article lined up? Shit. 1 second. I saw another article in the sidebar, and I know I read it, but I don't know if I saved it for the lineup of tonight, and it's actually really interesting. Oh God, I didn't actually put it there. Huh, that's gonna bug me now. Okay. Well, I know what I'm railroading up because I actually do find it interesting. Boop. Okay, since there's no archive, that means I didn't actually make it. That guarantees it. Okay. This is actually really interesting. When life imitates apocalypse culture, Real world cancer cure eerily mirrors zombie flick setup. If anyone remembers the opening segment from the Will Smith zombie apocalypse flick, I Am Legend, it starts with a comically ironic scene wherein a precarious female scientist, endearingly played by Emma Thompson, proudly announces a cure for cancer that involves reprogramming the measles virus to act more beneficially towards its human host, thereby eradicating cancer cells and thus the disease itself. The scene cuts to the apocalyptic fall of New York City, which we learn is occurring globally because the cancer cure didn't actually cure cancer. It instead turned a contagious virus, stop me if you heard this one before, and wiped out 90% of the population, then turned most of the survivors into zombies. The movie itself is a reboot of the 1971 film Omega Man starring Charlton Heston. Both are based on the 1954 Richard Matheson novel titled I Am Legend. When I saw a tweet from the right said, Fred guys, this morning, I could not get over how uncannily this real world clip of a female scientist extolling the benefits of an mRNA gene therapy that cured cancer in mice rhymed with the Hollywood dramatization years earlier. In mice that stop cancer occurring 50% of the cases, National Health Service GP author Dr. Renee Hoenderkamp explains the early stages of the groundbreaking cancer jab. Here we have a British writer and GP, Dr. Renee Hoenderkamp, who could easily be cast as Emma Thompson in any ensuing biopic describing the process of taking technology learned from COVID and repurposing it to kill cancer cells within the human body. So far, they've been testing on mice with a 50% success rate. Interviewer, is this as big as it sounds? Hoenderkamp, I think it potentially is. I mean, very early stages. So basically, they've discovered that if they use the same technology they use for COVID and use some mRNA, which is a messenger part of DNA, they take your particular cancer, they biopsy it, they take some of the protein from your cancer, they put it back into your cells and tell your cells to make that protein. The idea is that your body then makes the antibodies against it, and it gets the memory cells, the T cells, the ones we hear about lots in COVID. So then you're able to treat for your cancer if any of those cells are still floating around, or if any of them start to come back and multiply, your own immune system will recognize them from the vaccine, gene therapy, and kill it. We all know what happens next in I Am Legend. This is how life seems to be imitating art, specifically zombie apocalypse flicks, but only for anti-vaxxer nut jobs, apparently. Also worth noting that Bill Gates and sundry globalists plan to spray aerosol into the atmosphere to show global warming. The exact setup premises as Highlander 2 The Quickening, the sequel to earlier movie, albeit a box office flop. We know from 2 years of COVID, maleficence, not to mention the other mass-scale bunglings, that whether our technocratic overlords dream up in order to usher in a utopia, the unintended consequences will dwarf their ability to cope and push us all further into the jackpot, defined as a period of rolling catastrophes and never-ending crises. They began in earnest with the 2019 lab leak that ignited the pandemic. Ta-da! Oh, God. I think that the particular stupidity of the situation is that they're threatening a country, which is the case theoretically will have especially nothing to lose with our population concentrated in big cities. Is pure fucking Russia roulette, if you ask me. Kind of funny that Russia is one of the chambers in this equation, isn't it, though? But yeah, I get what you're saying for the Poland story of but Poland's just going all full YOLO. It's like Poland don't care. Oh, God. Okay. Where was I? Park Place, Zero Hedge, Tennessee, did that one. ESG, did that one. Russian nuclear war. Okay, and we got sidetracked with I Am Legend. So next. Watch. Drag. I am not going to watch that. Fuck that. Fuck that demon. Drag queen makes tiny kids chant Free Palestine. A video has emerged of drag queen leading... It's like, hey Daniel, here's Western decadence and the slow decline of Western, the great Satan that is the American dream at this point. Video emerged a drag queen leading the children barely older than the toddler age and chanting Free Palestine during a so-called Queer Story Time for Palestine event in Massachusetts, because of course it's fucking Massachusetts. The event features a drag queen going by the name Little Miss Hot Mess, took place earlier this month in Northampton Center of the Arts. The event was advertised by organizers as dancing and celebrating Palestine culture, learning about queer heroes, and doing arts and crafts. How do you drink? I'm not at the point where I need my antacid yet. I'm getting there. According to the host families for Palestine, profits from the event were donated to Al Quaz, a Palestinian organization that is working for queer liberation. Insert jokes about real queers being thrown off buildings, but that's kind of a dead horse at this point. Video captured the event shows Hot Mess reading her book titled If You're a Drag Queen and You Know It, and ordering kids, if you're a drag queen and you know it, shout Free Palestine. I'm just looking at my beta blockers right now, what I want to take them at this point. That's before I go to bed. Try to willingly keep my blood pressure down for the rest of the stream. It's gonna be hard with this one. First off, gay people are the best severely disrespected and worst murdered in Gaza and other Palestinian areas. In terms of how gay-friendly it is, the Alphabet Soup Equality Index ranks Palestine as 192 out of 197 countries. Syria, Somalia, and Yemen are ranked even more open to homosexuality. Woof. It's safe to say drag queen encouraging American kindergartners to say Free Palestine is not really going to shift the needle as far as the situation is concerned. I agree. Secondly, these children are clearly being subjected to a double dose of ideological and political indoctrination. What's next? Queer Palestine, vaccine, furry, Ukraine, drag queen, story time? Who in their right minds are taking their kids to that kind of thing? What do they expect will come from it? New victims. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Imagine if some of their children are Ukrainian refugees. I know, right? Oh, shit. I mentioned George Soros earlier today, and here he is again. George Soros paying student agitators to whip up anti-Israel protests. This is my surprise face. I am surprised at this startling revelation. I am shocked. Shocked, I say. I am not shocked. George Soros and his far-left movement is paying student agitators to co-op and amplify anti-Israel protests at colleges across the country, the New York Post reports. The protests, which began in Columbia University and have expanded nationwide with copycat tent cities erected at colleges, including Harvard, Yale, Berkeley in California, the Ohio State University, and Emory in Georgia, with organized branches of the Soros-funded Students for Justice in Palestine having organized them. Which might explain this. Something odd about those campus tent encampments. Almost all the tents are identical. Same. This is actually really important. Something odd. Okay. This here point is really important, so I'm going to really focus in on it. It's almost like those pallets of bricks you saw during the summer of love, fiery but mostly peaceful protest. It's like, where are all these pallets of bricks coming from? In this case, where are all these identical tents coming from? Something odd about those campus tent encampments. Almost all the tents are identical, same design, same size, same fresh out of the box appearance, which suggests rather than an organic process where students would bring a variety of individual tents, Damn it. You get the full quote, because this is actually really important. Someone or some organization has supplied them and organized the event. I think it would be instructive if we could determine who that someone is. I just had a thought. I'm going to try to remember that thought after I finish this. Someone is. Because rather than spontaneous demonstration, these are choreographed events by hidden actors and students, sincere though they may be, merely manipulated props. Wiki Dog, this is for you. But fuck, I know I have this saved. Shit. I know I have this saved. Give me 1 second. I really want to make the joke. I am going to hate myself in the morning if I don't make this joke. And I know I have it saved. I know I have saved. Where are you? Where are you, you piece of shit? I know you're here somewhere. Fucking Christ. All right, give me 1 second. Ah, there we go. Found it. Okay, I'm gonna reread the line so we can lead into the joke properly. Sorry for the wait. Okay, someone or some organization has supplied them and organized the event. Okay, definitely gonna save the bookmark this time around because I know I'm gonna be making that joke again. Choose another folder. Entertainment. Clips. And save. And I'm going to save the file itself. Because I know this link is never going to survive the ages. Because the fucking Jews are going to take it down. Again. Come on, YouTube downloader. Let's get it let out. Come on. Come on. All right. Save. Save. Go. Go, go, go. Who uploaded? Ah. Rudy put out a new video. And watch you after Fat Electrician. So that's that. Okay. George Soros easy kike joke tangent aside. And done. So next. Sandler gets closer to a soundboard every year. I do have a soundboard. I really do. Like print screen. Save. Save. Image. Change image. Change. Scroll. I have a soundboard. But the thing is I don't have everything on the soundboard. And the soundboard is bloated as it is. The soundboard is bloated as it is. And I don't have everything on it. And a lot of these joke things are YouTube clips. I have I may or may not have the bookmarks, and I may or may not have the files downloaded, and I may or may not have them on hand for immediately the joke. That's why I had to go find it. I do have a bookmarks folder of all of our little racists, all of our little internet meme clip stuff. I do have bookmarks of it in a folder ready to go and stuff. I don't have all of them, and I just add them as I remember them, and that was just another instance of that happening. Where are we? Okay. For your safety, USC cancels commencement to avoid pro-Palestinian protesters, citing safety concerns amid nationwide campus protests against Israel's conduct of the war in Gaza. The University of Southern California on Thursday announced this 2024 graduating class will not have a traditional main commencement ceremony that brings all graduates together. And there's actually a really important point in this here article I want to get to because it's actually really kind of sad. Oh, where is it? Okay. Yeah, okay. So this here part's actually really depressing. Even I'll admit this here is kind of sad. As for the commencement cancellation, USC's shut it all down move echoes the excessive caution displayed by the American education system in the face of COVID-19 pandemic. Those echoes are all too loud for USC seniors. 4 years ago, many of them were denied high school graduation ceremonies in the name of safety. Now their college commencement ceremonies have been similarly vaporized, only by a different set of quivering academics. Both is both enabling and irresponsible rather than protect students and their families at this important and well-earned event in their lives. The university is yielding to the mob. It is a feckless and feeble response to what should have been an easy decision for any administrator, said Jonathan Turley. After hearing the news, one of those seniors who goes by Gracie Flynn 12 took to TikTok to vent. The seniors that are graduating college right now are the seniors that graduated in 2020, where we didn't have a high school graduation. A lot of us had a drive-through fake graduations or no graduation at all, and now we are seniors getting ready for our first real graduation, and it just got canceled. I just had my last class ever, and just right after should be celebrating, but we just got the news that we have no graduation, so now all my roommates are depressed, and we were all literally just sitting in the living room in tears. And that's sad. That is legitimately infuriatingly sad. I have a cold black heart, but I still have a heart. You know, like as black as my heart is, it's still there. And I have to admit, this is fucking depressing. This is sad. It's just like, it was wrong for public health tyrants to cancel high school graduations for a senior class in 2020. It's wrong for USC to cancel the big graduation ceremony for the undergraduate class of 2024. Let the kids, okay, young adults, celebrate graduation for once. And I agree. This is fucking nuts. This has nothing to do with the topic, but I suddenly wonder, do you know what gold is? I do not. Okay, we're sitting at 40. Where's the bong at? I have to see. My ego demands it. What's the bong at right now? Bong is still fucking going. Jesus fuck. But we're getting there. He's at 70. He's at 70. We're 40. The pettiness shall continue. The pettiness shall continue until morale improves. Oh, fuck. Okay, where was I? Let's see. So, safety, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So the latest version of Disease X is floating around, and 20% of retail milk samples test positive for bird flu. FDA. 1 in 5 samples of milk from grocery store shelves tested positive for the highly pathogenic avian influenza. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration (FDA) announced late April 25th. But here's the kicker: I didn't bookmark I didn't archive a bookmark this here, but there was a competing article related to this one here, where the FDA themselves also said pasteurization got rid of all the got rid of all the bird flu virus samples when the milk went through pasteurization. So okay, so riddle me this, Batman. Riddle me this, FDA. Is 1 in 5 things of milk have bird flu, or doesn't it? Okay. This is why I don't trust the federal government on anything, especially the American federal government. Okay, FDA, which is it? Is it 1 in 5 or is it 0? Make up your fucking minds. It's like, guess who's back? Bird flu. Guess who's back? Back again. Tell a friend. I still got money running on pig flu, though. It's like, bird flu. But then suddenly the pig nation attacked. So, I don't know. Officials say it's still safe to drink milk, but some outside experts, including former U.S. government official Rick Bright, have said they're going to hold off until more information is made public about the outbreak. Blah, 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 blah. But it's just like, I don't even know anymore. I really don't. Who fucking knows? Border time. These states are making it illegal for illegal immigrants to enter. Conservative states across the country, Florida, Iowa, Louisiana, Tennessee, Georgia, and Oklahoma, are taking border security matters into their own hands. State rights over federal rights. Word. Proposing or passing legislation targeting illegal immigration. Oh, God. Okay. I've been putting off for a while now. I need my Pepsid. Oh, Pepsid AC, save me. A little pour in. Bird flu and milk. Are they milking pigeons now? I know, right? Well, I'd rather have pigeon milk than rat milk at this point, if I'm being honest, because that's probably what they're selling us at this point, given cost, given the increase of food costs at this point. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if they just had the milking machine hooked up to like a giant rat at this point. Okay, where was I? So Oklahoma passed the bill, blah blah blah. Going over all these states that are passing new. I've been covering this here, the whole border thing for a while now, and I've been saying that this here is the stickling point. This is the stickling point of the, Beanie Man's all about Civil War II. He's been on about that for years, as long as I've been about World War III at this point. But this is going to, if anything is going to kick off Civil War II in the United States, it's going to be this. It's going to be states. It's going to be states' rights. It's going to be the same thing as Civil War II, as Civil War I. It's going to be over states' rights versus the federal government rights, which is the federal government shouldn't exist. So Civil War II is going to be over states' rights again. But instead of slavery, this time it's going to be about what are we going to do about all the Mexicans coming across our border. It's going to be about border rights. In this next juncture, mark my words, that's what it's going to come down to. And going over their states and their laws, blah blah blah. Going over instances of the border thing, Louisiana, cities and counties, blah blah blah. So it's just going over the breakdown of each individual states and stuff. But the reason why I'm kind of bringing it up is just saying, like, this here shit is starting to get real, and especially during the election season and stuff. And this year is going to be one of the, if not the point of contention where the Democrats are going to fail the 2024 federal American election. This is going to be it. It's literally going to be over this. Let's liberate Texas People's Republic. Putin, where are you looking? Putin's kind of busy with his own Texas uprising at this point. Shit. Okay, where am I at? Okay, I made this joke when I first read this article. Actually, I do have this bookmark. Someone pick up the phone, 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 someone pick up the phone. Motherfucker, I don't think I have it saved. God damn it. You son of a whore. Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. I need to line up my jokes. Okay.
Oh, is that right? Well, I sure hope somebody picks up that phone, because I fucking called it!
And I fucking called it because I reported when this originally came around. Biden administration abandons plan to ban menthol cigarettes to avoid angry black voters. I called it. I called it when I first reported on this here making the rounds that they were going to ban menthol cigarettes. I fucking called it that they're going to back. I called it. I fucking called it when they were going to fucking backtrack it on the during the election year, because they weren't going to be able to roll it out in time for the election and stuff. So I knew they were going to backtrack on this, and I fucking called it. Biden administration abandons plans to ban menthol cigarettes to avoid anger black voters. The so-called party of science has decided to abandon its plan to save millions of lives of mostly African American youth, choosing not to ban menthol cigarettes after all. Who fucking called it? This guy. Eat shit. October 23, 2023, the FDA said it was looking to ban menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars due to the concerns that these tobacco products are harming American youth. Then in December 2023, what called backlash, the White House officials were reportedly taking more time to review the sweeping ban plan, despite the science awful warning. And now in April 2024, around 6 months before the election, in which Biden's poll numbers are in the proverbial toilet, the Wall Street Journal reports that the Biden administration is reversing course on its plan to ban menthol cigarettes after the White House weighed the potential public health benefits of banning menthy smokes against the political risk of angering black voters in election year. I fucking called it. God fucking damn it. This is why I cover these news articles and this here shit and stuff, because reality is always going to be more entertaining than fantasy, like 110% of the time, because this shit is fucking hilarious. This is the reason why the Onion and the Babylon Bee are effectively going out of business, because you can't make up shit that's more insane than reality. You can't make up shit that's more insane than what you see. And it's for example of things like this. It's just like, what the fuck? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. God damn. Science indeed. I agree. Okay, who uploaded a new video now too? Oh, look, Hexa. Okay, I need to bookmark this one. Save the clips. I'm pretty sure I have the actual file saved, but I'm going to double check. Well, not double check. I'm actually going to just resave it. Add URL, paste link, and download. Save, you bastard. Ugh. Come on. Go. All right. Next. Let's see. NYPD. Okay, yep, that one. NYPD warns anti-Israel protesters a Seattle-style occupation zone won't be tolerated. As protests escalate across college and university campuses in the United States, the New York Police Department official vows that a Seattle-style occupation zone will not be tolerated in the streets of New York City. Oh, reflux. I took my Pepsi AC. Will you just fuck off already? Oh. Yeah, damn. Two New York department officials spoke to Fox News. The store anchor, Tracy Gallagher, or Trace, it's Trace or Tracy. I've seen it both ways. On April 25th, the conversation focused on the growing concerns that the anti-Israel protests spreading across America's college campuses might devolve into further violence. What the fuck? Yes. Let's see. The autonomous zone established by Seattle, Washington State, in response to the death of George Floyd in May 2022, suggesting they might linger and last all summer long and become bigger and more dangerous. It was a possibility immediately shut down by the Chief of Patrol, John Schell. We will not have any Seattle-type encampments on the streets of New York City. I can guarantee you that. That would end rather quickly, he asserted. And going over the history lesson of Chaz, later Chop. Man, summer 2020 was a fun time, wasn't it, kids? It was a fun time. The summer of love. Fiery but mostly peaceful protests. Ah, the halcyon days. It was only 4 years ago. Grandpa remembers. Going over everyone who's involved in this, requests for help. No one gives a care because it's fucking New York. New York can burn for all I give a shit. Just walled off and turn it into a prison encampment. Give me my John Carpenter's Escape from New York already, please and thank you. We don't talk about Escape from LA. That movie doesn't exist. I don't care if Kurt Russell got a paycheck. That movie was so bad. Oh God, was it so bad? Oh God, I'm gonna give myself PTSD trying to forget it. Okay, moving on. Hey, it's another incident of planes falling apart. Well, not kind of, sort of. Planes almost collide at two major airports as Boeing probe advances. As the U.S. Justice Department decides on whether to pursue criminal case against Boeing, the Federal Aviation Administration is investigating dozens of airplane incidents in January, including one in which a Swiss Air jet almost collided with four other planes on the runway at JFK International Airport in New York City. The FAA has more than 100 aviation accidents and incidents at the beginning of 2024. These include airplane and helicopter crashes, equipment and mechanical malfunctions, and communication breakdowns with air traffic controllers that almost caused runway collisions at several major U.S. airports. The diversity quota is at work. Bruce Campbell was a decent as plastic surgeon, escaped from LA at least. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I do remember his cameo in that, and that there was pretty wild. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one. So it's just going over a couple of cases of planes almost crashing into each other and stuff. And this actually does have a break. It does actually have a breakdown. This is an important part which I'm going to focus on. Retirement and training bottleneck. Another factor leading into two issues with the ATC is the sheer volume of retirements in the aviation industry during the pandemic, Mr. Brown said. He explained that some pilots and air traffic controllers were close to retirement age when the pandemic started, with many deciding to retire early. And this happened in a lot of industries, so you're going to be seeing a lot of this shit over the next few years. But this year is getting a lot of press because, airplanes. But this year has happened and will continue to happen over a lot of different industries. In that when they mandated the COVID gene therapies, a lot of people said, you know what, I'm close to retirement, I'm just going to fuck off, and they did, and they're paying the price. And this is the price we're seeing right now. In that planes are falling apart and crashing into each other at this point, and this is going to get worse before it gets better. Distraction, infrastructure, budget issues. This is kind of like age-old stuff. Like, you got a lot of kids and diversity hires working in these very critical, like mission critical positions now. And of course, shit's falling apart because kids don't know what they're doing, and the diversity hires are there because they're diversity hires. And yep, people are going to die over this, and we all saw it coming. So, yep. Ooh, statistics. Hey, everybody, statistics, our favorite topic. Mainstream media misrepresenting crime statistics in order to protect Biden. With the November election less than 7 months away, mainstream media outlets are now choosing to misrepresent the current state of crime in the United States, claiming that crime is declining without providing full context or key details. As the Daily Caller reports, there are two ways which the federal government measures crime in the United States: the Bureau of Justice Statistics, National Crime Victimization Survey, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Uniform Crime Reporting. Whereas the NCVS asked roughly 240,000 Americans whether they have not been a victim of crime last year, the UCR focuses on crimes that have been reported to the police within the last... Excuse me, my gut is rebelling against me. Within the last year, shared with the FBI. With more people are reporting BJS that they have been victims of the crime, the FBI is reporting fewer crimes through the UCR. The UCR claims that violent crimes dropped by 2% from 2021 to 2022, while the NCVS shows the exact opposite, reporting that the number of victims of violent crime increased by a staggering 42.4% from 2021 to 2022. This constitutes a rise from 16.5 victims per 1,000 people to 23.5 victims per 1,000 people. Nevertheless, many mainstream media outlets such as CBS, NBC, PBS, NPR, Reuters, and The Hill have all turned to the FBI's data to claim falsely that the crime is on decline. All such reports have failed to mention the crucial data from the NCVS. Again, I've mentioned this repeatedly in the past. This is why, for the most part, I don't really trust any. Okay, well, you should. I definitely don't. You shouldn't trust anything the mainstream media tells you, because this is how they do it. They cherry pick what they want. They don't report the way things are. They have a narrative that they want to push, and they'll cherry pick to not technically lie, but lying by omission is still lying, and that's what they're doing here. Is they're lying by omission by finding the one variable they can say, like, look, crime is down. Totally don't turn around and look at this other statistic that's showing it's over 40%. No, we actually have a decline of 2%. That's what they're trying to do here. So, statistics, people. Statistics at work. This one. This is a good one. Okay, so how do I start with this one? Immunity for me, but not for thee. Whether presidential immunity is a good thing or a bad thing shouldn't depend upon party affiliation. And this is an essay thought experiment on the notion of presidential immunity, and this is in regards to the Trump and Biden having classified documents that they allegedly both declassified and had in their own private possessions and stuff. And this is coming up with the rules for thee, not for me. In that, okay, it's like, oh, Biden was just a doddering old man, he didn't know he had them, but Trump is totally a devil for having these classified information, so we need to crucify him to the wall. And this is just another instance of double standards and stuff. But this comes down to a constitutional matter of this will never come back and bite us in the ass. Well, yeah, actually, yes, it will. Weird how crime has been on the decline since the 70s, yet somehow more imprisonments and more laws to fight crime, which is not rising, by the way. Stop noticing things. Stop noticing things going. But this is actually kind of related to that, in that I've been saying it for years at this point, the American empire is in collapse. No offense, but the American empire is in collapse. And when it comes to the law system, is definitely totally a complete and utter shit show and stuff, because you have literally two presidents. You have two presidents effectively being charged for the same crime, but they're getting totally different results, both in terms of the mainstream media and the actual courts themselves. It's literally they're getting caught for the same thing, but one is getting a pass and the other one is becoming the Antichrist for literally the same crime. And that's putting on full display the two-tiered system of the American judicial system, like front row and center on every single TV screen across the entire nation and stuff. And people are just seeing this in real time of the double standard is like, oh, we are fucked. And this will, again, I joke about World War III and Civil War II and stuff, but this is just more fuel to the fire at this point and stuff, because you're not hiding this here. This is literally like evening news, daytime talk show, like talking points and stuff. Like, this is literally the hill they're dying on for stupid shit like this. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. That's for sure. Okay, this one's weird. I don't know how to talk about this one. Drizzle, soft guy era parody trend sheds light on feminist hypocrisy. So I'm not going to go over this here too much, but the long and short of this here is that this is kind of like MGTOW light, I guess. It's like sprinkle, drizzle, I don't know. there seems to be a resurgence of the MGTOW stuff, but it seems to be the feminists are, how do I even fucking say it? It seems like the feminists realize that MGTOW is a thing, and they're kind of picking on it because it's like, oh, you bunch of chuds, you're a bunch of chuds, and that you're not putting out for women, and you're not covering our tabs and being our little pay piggies, and you men retreating to your spaces, your safe spaces. It's fucking emasculating and stuff, and this stuff is weird. Like one of the main talking points is men aren't picking up the tabs anymore, and feminists are like, no, men should totally pay for everything. But even though women have jobs now, and like I've made this comment many times before, and that chivalry died with feminism. It's like, congratulations, women, you succeeded. You killed chivalry. Pat yourselves in the back. Now you have to deal with everything men do, and you're not getting special treatment anymore. But when they realize this, they want their special treatment back. Okay? They want men to pay for everything. They want men to do all the bad work. It's like they want men to die on the battlefields and stuff, and they want all the bonuses and none of the drawbacks of life. And I made jokes about this here at the time years ago, and the chickens do seem to be coming home to roost on this one here, and that they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. Like all these feminists, they want their little pay pigs. They want their little, they want one person to pay for their food. They want one person to pay their bills. They want the hot guy who works out to be their living dildo. And yeah, that's just the way it seems to be going right now. I'd say chivalry died with automobiles. Ha. Again, I don't really know what this drizzle thing is. Like, I'm really trying to make sense. Let's see. Thankfully, grassroots counter movements are adapting the online environment that woke activists have been thriving in, often hilarious results of sprinkle, sprinkle, now is drizzle. The soft guy era movement parodies feminists. Oh, okay. So this makes a little more sense now. The soft guy era movement parodies feminist talking points, taking those arguments and flipping them around to show how ridiculous these women sound. Oh, okay. All right. So I understand this now. So this here drizzle movement is literally doing the replace all instances of white with black, or in this case, replace all instances of women with men, and you get the same thing. Okay, I see where this is going. Okay, it makes sense to me now. I get it. If chivalry died with automobiles, it was resurrected with airplane dogfights. I don't know how I feel about this little fight that started, and tanks. I don't know how I feel about this. Okay, I understand the drizzle now. They're literally doing they're swapping the words around, showing these feminists how they're idiots. Okay, I get it now. It makes sense. I get it. Okay, going back to academia. UCLA student forced to take mandatory fat positivity class. UCLA Medical School is under fire for forcing students to attend health equity classes where fat positivity is promoted, and the reading material claims that medical term obesity is a slur and used to exact violence on fat people. I have to at this point. I have to. Okay, good break. The Washington Free Beacon obtained the entire syllabus of the mandatory course titled Structural Racism and Health Equity, which one medical expert who has reviewed it described as education designed to ideologically indoctrinate physician activists. As part of the required course, all first-year medical students are made to read the essay Fat Liberationists Marquisiel Mercedes pictured, who made up the term like fat phobia to argue that the medical profession is biased against fat people and trying to lose weight is more healthy. To be more healthy is a hopeless endeavor because the disability cannot be reversed. Sad fat black woman. What a shock. What a shock. A fat woman wrote this? No. I'm shocked. The essay titled No Health, No Care, Big Fat Loophole is a Hippocratic Oath claims that weight has become pathologized and medicalized in racialized terms, and that fatties are discriminated against by the medical profession, particularly black, disabled, trans, poor, fat people. We're hitting all the check marks in the oppression Olympics. We're doing it, lads. We're hitting all the check marks. Fucking, of course, about Mikey, she, they. Of course she has fucking pronouns in her fucking thing. Unhinged, I agree. The syllabus states that the essay provides guidance to resisting entrenched fat oppression. WFB writer Aaron Sabaram breaks down the syllabus, which replete with extreme Marxist gender ideology and critical race theory positions. In this thread, click to read. The findings have been slammed by Jeffrey Flyer, former dean of Harvard Medical School, who warned that the curriculum promotes extensive and dangerous misinformation. No fucking shit. Flyer charges UCLA has entered this required course. The socialist Marxist ideology is totally inappropriate, adding that as a long-standing medical educator, I found this course truly shocking. I do too. This is a profoundly misguided view of obesity, a complex medical disorder with major adverse health consequences for all racial and ethnic groups. Flyer further urged, adding that indoctrinating medical students with such ignorant notions constitutes as malpractice. No shit. Earlier this month, UCLA structural racism course also mandated the first-year medical students sit through a crackpot lecture by a screaming, masked-up pro-Hamas activist. We covered that one. Told them to pray for Mama Earth. Yeah, I remember covering that one. Washington Free Beacon reported that when one student refused to participate, a faculty member inquired about the student's identity, implying that discipline could be on the table. The course also prompted civil rights complaint back in January after students separated by race-based discussion groups, with one for white students and another for African Americans and a third for non-black people of color. It was only when a Wall Street Journal editorial publicized the complaint the UCLA moved to cancel the exercise. Last month, Daily Wire also published portions of the course's openly socialist syllabus, including units on settler colonialism, where students were made to read the essay titled "Decolonization is Not a Metaphor." That describes the epistemic, ontological, and cosmological violence of the settler. Oh God, my brain started stroking on that one. I don't care what you say, Shapiro. Fuck off. Fuck off, you Luke Ike. Bingo. If she's Jewish, we have a bingo. If she's Jewish, we have a bingo. I don't know. She had a nigger nose. She had a nigger nose, not the kike nose. Oh, God, my model fucked up again. Camera focus. I know, talk with my hands. Okay. All right, we're back. Ooh, this one was neat. Disgruntled disgruntled school employee uses AI to frame principal at racist rant. A disgruntled ex-athletics director at Northern Baltimore County Public School used artificial intelligence to impersonate the voice of his boss, the high school principal, then posted the racist and anti-Semitic hate rant on social media to share with the world. Baltimore County Police Chief Robert Medul told reporters that his investigators work with the FBI agents and experts from the University of California, Berkeley, to determine that the recording of Pikesville High School principal Eric Eiswert circulating on social media since January was generated with AI tools by Dazon Darian, high school athletic director, to retaliate against the principal for not renewing his work contract and an investigation into the mishandling of school funds. On Thursday, McCullough said the investigation found that Dazon Darian, the school athletic director, produced the recording to retaliate against Principal Eiswert, who had initiated a probe into the mishandling of school funds. Local media outlet WBFF Investigative I-Team Arm Project Baltimore originally obtained the audio recording, which is 41 seconds long, beginning with racially charged language about black students. Seriously, I don't understand why I have to constantly put up with these dumb niggers here every day. I know it's censorship. we all know it's censorship. Yeah, impersonated voice, the principal said, adding, between these ungrateful black kids who can't test their way out of a paper bag. Well, this is probably true. This is actually true. How are these teachers who don't get it? How is it these students they meet their grade level expectations? That's a whole other conversation at this point. Okay, I'm curious. I'm curious now. I have to.
You know, I seriously don't understand why I have to constantly put up with these dumbasses here every day. Between these ungrateful black kids who can't test their way out of a paper bag, or these teachers who don't get it, how hard is it to get these students to meet their grade level expectations? Lawrence and Ravenel should have never been hired. And don't let me get started on DJ. I'm going to drag his black ass out of here one way or another. I'm going to get something to stick. I'm just so sick of the inadequacies of these people. And if I have to get one more complaint from one more Jew in this community, I'm going to join the other side.
Okay, so he didn't say nigger. So why is black censored? I seriously don't understand why I have to constantly put up with these dumb blacks here every day. He didn't. Why is black censored? In this instance of the quote, why is black censored? He didn't say nigger. I'm confused now. My expectations were low, but holy shit. So it got called out. It's actually AI, but the closing sentence is actually really the main point. Is just wait until AI is weaponized against a politician or a presidential candidate is coming. And we all see it's coming. We know. Oh, God. Pretty sure he said dumbasses. Still, I don't care if it's either black or dumbasses. Why is it asterisked? He didn't say nigger. Why is it asterisked? These are the real questions I have. Why is the quote asterisked when the word nigger was not used? This is the issue I have with it. Camera. Okay, next. I'm not going to go over this one here too much. Bird flu censorship and the 100-day vaccine, 7 predictions for the next pandemic. This is mostly going on the Disease X, World Economic Forum, United Nations, the World Health Organization. This is kind of like stuff I've covered a million times, kind of just condensed into a one-stop shop of an essay of like how they're gonna, the next disease or the next crisis, air quotes crisis that comes along, how they're gonna, what they learned from their failure of implementing all of their controls during COVID and stuff, you know, like cracking down on free speech. They dragged it out too long. People got tired and they stopped playing ball. You know, all the lessons learned from them trying to control the world and stuff. And this is actually a really good read, but I'm not really going to go over to it other than to point it out. Ass is censored now, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Okay, going back to the protest. Nearly half of those arrested at UT Austin pro-Palestine protests had no links to school. What a shock. Let's see, who's paying for this again? All right, Soros. Nearly half of all the pro-Palestinian protesters arrested earlier this week in the University of Texas Austin were not affiliated with the university. Law enforcement officials arrested 57 protesters during Wednesday event organized by a Palestine Solidarity Committee after participants refused to disperse despite demands from authorities and the university. Of those arrested, 26 were neither students nor faculty at the university, according to officials at UT Austin. And going over the protests, but again, just pull out the main point stuff of a lot of these guys were bussed in. Much like the summer protests. It's like, where are all these here? It's like, these here grassroots protests are not really as grassroots as we thought. And of course, you know, the George Soros thing, like, who could it be now? Yada, yada, yada. We made this joke already, the stream. And going over all the instances, the protests going on right now and stuff. But it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny to have this shit pointed out, you know. So that's that. Teams are set for World War III. I'm trying to remember this article. Okay, this is okay. Yeah, so this here's another essay, and it's not really about World War III. This here essay is actually kind of related to the previous article I kind of glossed over of the powers that be and the methods and methodology that they're going to use for the next iteration of their uh, methods of subversion and normalization of a crisis. And of course, this here case is going to be either a new pandemic or global warming. And it comes down to the different philosophies of like libertarians versus authoritarians, and who the teams are, blah blah blah. This is just another academic essay and stuff, but it's a good read. It's a good read, so that's the reason why I have it in the list. So moving on. I should make a bingo game of all the. Honestly, at this point, we should make a bingo game, not just on the racist, not on the racist, but the progressive stack, like the progressive stack bingo. That's kind of old hat. We really need to make a bingo of what is Zenlar going to talk about today on the news stream, reading the news stream, because it's always the same handful of topics and stuff. And here's a mark on the bingo card. Chinese nationals charged with conspiracy to export U.S. technology. Department of Justice has arrested 2 Chinese nationals who allegedly plotted to export U.S. technology to advance People's Republic of China's military operations. Han Li, 44, and Lin Chen, 64, have been charged with several counts of conspiracy to violate the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, in addition to Export Administration regulations for attempting to export machine used to process silicon microchips. The export restrictions at issue in this case were put in place to prevent illicit procurement of commodities and technologies for unauthorized military and use in the People's Republic of China. U.S. Attorney for Northern District of California, Ismail Ramsey, said in a press release of the arrest. This office will continue to vigorously enforce the nation's export laws, including those pertaining to advanced technologies, to protect our national security. Assistant Attorney General Matthew Olson explained that the defendants sought to evade export controls to obtain U.S. semiconductors that they were then going to ship to a Chinese company. And this is kind of like wash, rinse, repeat of other incidents of Chinese industrial and military espionage and stuff. It's just a different flavor in this case. Like I remember the last couple of ones were like virus research and like military hardware. In this instance, it's like high end microchips. So mark that off. Of another instance of Chinese doing what Chinese do, which is lie, cheat, and steal, because clearly they're not innovating on their own terms, as they are wont to do. It is the Chinaman's nature to lie, cheat, and steal. Okay, this one was a little. I don't know how I feel about this one. Kind of infuriating, if I'm being honest. This one here. New York Home Depot hires guards and dogs to combat aggressive parking lot migrants. I'm going to read this one verbatim because it's short, but it actually is really infuriating. The Home Depot in New York has hired armed security guards and canine units to protect shoppers from aggressive migrants and thieves in the parking lot, New York Post reports. According to City Councilwoman Christy Marmorato, everybody is well aware of the culture here at Home Depot and that have day laborers just trying to make an honest living, and they started to feel like they just started to become a little more aggressive. Where people are walking from the store with stuff in their cart, individuals were coming up to them and literally taking stuff out of their carts to help them, and they just felt very concerned, very unsafe. 2 men wearing MSA security caps and bulletproof vests with German shepherds in tow patrolled the Home Depot at New Rochelle on Tuesday. It's more about omnipresence, one guard said, explaining that the company was contracted a few weeks ago. It's not like we're out to bite them or anything. The guard said the store hired them for a number of reasons. It's not just because migrants, but because of a myriad of other things too, like people breaking into cars, that kind of stuff, he said. A reporter for the Post observed at least 30 male migrants hovering near the doors of Throgs Neck, Bronx location, with several day laborers aggressively confronting shoppers trying to sell them fake Apple AirPods or trying to earn unsolicited tips for lifting items from shopping carts into cars. You come out and you're a woman by yourself. They literally leech onto your wagon, and you're like, "No, I don't need any help," said one employee. And when they're following you to your car, it's unnerving. The employee said the female supervisor saw one of the men I shit you not, washing his dick and balls with a water bottle in the lot. And the several women have called Home Depot customer service to complain of being robbed by migrants. I came to work one day and had 100 guys out there, she told the Post, and I'm like, oh my God. A regular customer at the store who asked to be identified only as Cheryl said she and her husband had a frightening encounter last month. A man practically runs over and goes to the point like, can I take the stuff? And my husband said, no, thank you. She recalled, noting that they only had a couple of boxes and a paint scraper. He still keeps following like on top of us, and I say, no, thank you. When her husband turned around to open the car door, the man put his hand on one of the boxes in the cart. My husband said, don't touch anything, but the man didn't stop. It comes to the point where they're invading personal space, touching people's belongings, and just harassing, said Home Depot customer service employee Lorianne. I don't even remember her name. I get it. You're trying to make a buck, but when it becomes aggressive and harassing, there's a major issue. They're no longer asking for Trevano. They're taking Trevano by force. I know, right? So, yeah, I can understand them getting the guards, guards with dogs at this point and stuff is like, there's only, I've said this before and I'll say it again. There's only so many different permutations of telling someone to fuck off, where it's like, okay, you're not understanding the words coming out of my mouth, so you're going to understand my fist going into your mouth. You'll understand that. That's the point we're getting at this point. What's this one? New bombshell evidence emerges. Right. Okay, so this ties back to the rules not for me one on the classified documents thing. This is actually a really interesting turn in the telenovela saga, as it were. New bombshell evidence emerges. Was Trump set up in the classified docs saga? This is really interesting. This week in Florida, Judge Aileen Cannon unsealed a trove of new documents that Jack Smith fought to keep hidden, and you'll soon find out why. Among the documents unsealed were extensive exhibits, motions, and other filings shedding light on the intricate web of communication between the Biden White House and the National Archives and Records Administration, in the lead up to the Trump indictment. Investigative journalist Julie Kelly found something interesting in the documents that could change everything. The first thing is a testimony from an FBI agent who testified that the General Service Association had been in possession of Trump's boxes in Virginia before ordering Trump's team to come get them. That's very interesting. So an entire pallet full of boxes that had been held by a GSA somewhere outside of D.C. is dumped at Mar-a-Lago, Kelly notes. Apparently, these are the boxes that ended up containing papers with classified markings. I will double check the indictment, but I don't recall this event in the timeline, she added. This is very interesting. So it appears that the Biden administration may have been responsible for shipping classified information to Trump's Mar-a-Lago home in Florida. This development is significant because Trump has previously blamed the GSA for packing the boxes that contained the classified documents, only to later accuse Trump of essentially stealing them and using them as pretext for sending the FBI to raid his Mar-a-Lago home in August of 2022. It was a setup from the get-go, remarked Tom Fitton, the founder of Judicial Watch. Meanwhile, Joe Biden had classified information that was never entitled to have stored in boxes in the garage for years, but was not charged. Biden blamed staffers for packing the classified information. While this may not prove that the Biden administration set up Trump in the classified document case, they did. Considering the way the Biden administration has abused the legal system against Trump, no one can confidently say they wouldn't. Even so, it still raises other legitimate questions. For example, if the GSA had been in possession of the boxes, why wasn't a review of the materials conducted before they instructed Trump's team to get them? When it comes to classified information, they wouldn't have expected Trump and his staff to be responsible for ensuring the classified documents weren't among the records, because they did the review of the contents of boxes and knew classified documents were contained in them before they told Trump's people to come get them. If it smells like a setup, it sounds like a setup, acts like a setup, I have a feeling it probably was a setup, and I'm not terribly surprised because look who's fucking doing it. Wow, the most secure election from the most secure party of American history, ladies and gentlemen. Huh. Funny how that works. I found it interesting. Oh, God. Okay. Next, U.S. Space Force General says China's military developing space assets at breathtaking speed. General Stefan Whitling, commander of the U.S. Space Command, recently warned about China's breathtakingly fast development of space military capabilities following his trip to South Korea and Japan. We are seriously focused on U.S. Space Command and our pacing challenge, which is the People's Republic of China. General Whitling told reporters during a call from Japan on April 24th. The People's Republic of China is moving at breathtaking speed in space and are rapidly developing a range of counter space weapons to hold at risk our space capabilities, he added. They are also using space to make their terrestrial forces, their army, their navy, their maritime corps, their air force more precise, more lethal, and more far-ranging. General Whitling, on his first Indo-Pacific trip after becoming head of the U.S. Space Command in January, succeeding Army General James Dickinson during his trip, he met with top military leaders from South Korea and Japan, including Admiral Kim Myung-soo, chairman of South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff, and Japanese Defense Minister Minoru Kira, and on and so forth stuff. So I think again, you know, Grandpa Godzilla and his World War III boner and stuff. I find this stuff interesting, so I just think it's neat. What's this one? Environmental pollutant, how a key climate agenda tool harms endangered species. Has the Biden administration expands its offshore... Oh, this one. Okay, yeah. Actually, I do have opinions on this one. As the Biden administration expands its offshore wind projects as part of its goal to reach carbon-free energy systems, whales and other marine life may become collateral damage, according to new research. The long story short with this one here, it's kind of like the nuclear power thing. It's like oh, we got to fear for the environment. Okay, here's nuclear power. I don't want nuclear power. I want control and Marxism. It's kind of the same thing with this one here. It's like, okay, okay, I want to protect the environment. It's like, okay, I'm gonna put all these wind turbines out in the ocean. Oh, all this noise from those wind turbines actually affect sea marine life. This shit I already knew because as a geologist, one of the kind of surveys you do is air gun surveys out in the ocean, like those big geophysics surveys you do in the ocean. You pretty much drag a giant fucking air gun behind the ship, and you pretty much like literally blast the ocean floor with sound, and that's how you get your readings and stuff. And it's the same. It's the same thing as it is effectively sonar, but instead of having your bing, which is really fucking loud from a sub, you have an air gun doing the same thing. And we've known for decades at this point those loud ass noises can kill. It will fuck you up, these loud noises. And I've known since like day one for wind turbines and stuff, they do the same shit, just at a larger scale. Because if you've seen those wind turbines, offshore ones, they're fucking huge and they're fucking loud. And the fact those wind turbines disrupt marine life, I'm not surprised. But because these here assholes don't give a shit about the environment and stuff, it's like, oh, fuck the whales. It's like, well, I'm sorry, sir, but the other day you were all like, okay, stop killing the whales and stuff, but you put these wind turbines out, there are killing whales now. Which is it, sir? Is it don't kill the whales or kill the whales? You can't have your cake and eat it too. That's not how this works. Fucking assholes. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. It's like, It's like, oh, we're about the environment, but fuck those whales. Fuck those whales in particular. It's one of those, and it's just like, fuck. I fear today. I actually do fear today. I have to meet another environmentalist. I'll probably just go straight for the throat. If I ever meet another environmentalist in this day and age, I'm probably just going to go for the throat. Because I really don't have patience for this shit anymore. I really don't. It's like, oh, we're about the environment. No, you're not. No, you're not. Fuck off. Just fuck off and die. Oh, here's the big news. Okay, so here's the big news. Everyone, save the whales. We need them for their tallow. Yeah, I know. Okay, everybody, point and laugh for something we all saw coming. Anti-white Scottish first minister, quits after disastrous hate crime law. Scotland's leader, Humza Yousaf, resigned on Monday, quitting as head of the pro-independent Scottish National Party. After scrapping a coalition agreement with Scotland's Greens, he then failed to secure enough support to survive a vote of no confidence against him expected later this week. Yousaf, born to Pakistani immigrants in Glasgow, built an infamous reputation as a woke activist politician going into the 2023 elections. His rapid pro-immigration stance and consistent arguments in favor of DEI should have been a red flag for the Scottish public. However, with an increasingly progressive voting population, Yousaf narrowly scored a victory. Here is giving speech about admonishing whiteness in the Scottish government. We've seen that before. Man, Scotland's 96% white, but whatever. Going over his rap sheet, ending with the Hate Crime Act, which we've covered before. People calling in, flooding with like over 80,000 incidences, and the J.K. Rowling stuff, and yada yada yada. We've been all over this before, but motherfucker's gone. This is the main takeaway. Motherfucker's gone. Motherfucker quit. He folded like a little bitch. He folded like a little bitch because he was up for a vote of no confidence, and he knew he was up for a vote of no confidence, and he knew he was going to fail, so he just fucking quit like the little bitch that he is. Little packy bitch, quit. This is fucking hilarious. Oh God, Scotland. God, Scotland. Jesus fuck. Little packy quit. You hate to see it go. Sucks to suck. Motherfucker. Oh shit. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny J.K. Rowling's getting the last laugh on this year because fuck her too, but I don't care at this point. I really don't. Oh shit. Who was last year after I've resigned? Good riddance. I'm not resigning. April 25th, 2024. I resign April 29th, 2024. A surprise, but a good one for once. Put him in the munchie box assembly lines. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Oh, God. When I saw the title for the article come across my feed, that put a smile on my face because, oh God, it's the little things. You have to appreciate the little things. It's not all doom and gloom. You take your white pills where you can. Speaking of white pills, this just doesn't stop. Leave or be suspended. Columbia gives protesters until 2 p.m. or else. Columbia University has given protesting students until 2 p.m., which was earlier today, to leave their encampment and sign a form committing to abide by university policies through June 30th, 2025, or by their graduation. Failure to do so will disqualify students from graduating this spring or from participating in academic and extracurricular activities, Axios reports. It's important for you to know that the university has already identified many students in the encampment, reads the Monday letter, which was shared by Columbia Students for Justice in Palestine. If you do not leave by 2 p.m., you will be suspended pending further investigation. Sanctions including probation, access restrictions, suspension for a term or more, and expulsion, reads the Monday notice, which doesn't look like it's going well. According to the letter, talks between university leaders and student leaders at the encampment are in impasse and have unauthorized encampment and association disruption in the campus has created an unwelcoming environment which violates various school policies, including rules governing disruptive behavior and harassment. Please promptly gather your belongings and leave the encampment, reads the letter. If you voluntarily leave by 2 p.m., identify yourself to university officials and sign the provided form where you commit to abide by all university policies through June 30th, 2025, or the date of the conferral of your degree, whichever is earlier. You will be eligible to complete the semester in good standing and will not be placed on suspension as long as you adhere to that commitment. Officials say they hope the protesting students will sign the form and leave by the deadline. Those who refuse will be put on disciplinary probation. Meanwhile, things are starting to get spicy. I agree. And got a couple of Twitter clips, but we've seen a million of these here of them being carted off by the cops. They're all funny. Going over other instances of university protests being broken down. You know, I wish I kind of bookmarked it, but there's that one there where Buddy's literally crying on the ground, and the cop just picks him up and just bodies him away. That one was pretty funny. Fuck. Nature's healing. Nature's healing. Just give it a little more time. Nature's healing. Crying out for justice. Female athletes sue NCAA over dangerous transgender policies. We've been over this here before. In all permutations. The last instance of this here segment was they said that they were going to pursue litigation against the NCAA, and now this is just the latest update of they are going ahead and doing their file. They have filed their suit against the NCAA for, you know, the tranny harassment and all that stuff. We've been over this before, but this is just the update of they're going ahead with it right now, and it's in court. So that's that. That is that. And going to end on not the bee and not the onion. If you want people to have babies, you are now far right. A report published by Politico claims that wanting the human race to reproduce is now a far-right position to take. Yes, really. Leftists are so obsessed with identity politics, they're arguing that human reproduction and being in favor of people having babies is now right-wing. Insert meme of Shinzo Abe here. The article focuses on a recent natal convention and states that the far right is so obsessed with making babies, they just held a whole conference on it. They are even using a political term for this movement, natalism. Wikipedia says the term natalism, also called pronatalism, or the pro-birth position, dates from 1971, is an ideology that promotes the reproduction of human life as an important objective of being human and advocates high birth rate. Apparently, it's no longer just the fact that reproduction of human life is an important objective of being human. After all, if there is no reproduction of human life, there is no being human to be had. The Politico piece, written by Gabby Del Valle, however fucking her name is, who is a reporter whose work focuses on immigration surveillance and the far right, makes light of the fact that the global fertility rates are in a tailspin. It reads, the threat we are told here this weekend is existential, biological, epoch-defining. Economies will fail, civilizations will fall, and it will all happen because people aren't having enough babies. This is common sense. For those of you who aren't paying attention, the entire global economic system is based on the Ponzi scheme. Insert your relevant nation's retirement plan here. They're all Ponzi schemes. You stop having babies, the Ponzi scheme fails, yada, yada, yada. We've been over this before. It goes on to argue that people attending NatalCon are more concerned with total societal overhaul and breeding a new majority, one that looks and sounds just like them. Insert Nazi reference here. It suggests that the concerns over higher instances of divorce and breakdown of traditional family in modern society, and that the rise of ideologies like transgenderism are just part of liberal democracy, and that those concerned about them impacting the global human population and society as a whole are just being a bit silly. Silly little beans. In recent years, various factions of the old and new right have coalesced around the idea that babies might be the cure for everything that's wrong with society. The Val rights going on to intimate that these natalists are just bigoted and anti-immigration, that immigration is really the way to solve the decline of birth rates. Well, if you want to go on that, if you want to die on that hill, the concept of immigration means that someone is breeding. You just don't want white people to breed, is what I'm hearing from this. She then okay. Literally, the next line, I make the joke. I make the joke literally in the next line. She then throws in some white supremacy stuff for no reason other than to disingenuously conflate it with people who think that having babies is a good thing. The piece that insinuates that the problems such as microplastics, oh my fucking god, really? Contributing to the decline in sperm counts, endocrine disruptors being present in the water, and birth control pills having detrimental effects on women's fertility are all just conspiracy theories because they amplify by people who have X accounts or something. Yeah, really. Ah, yes, natalism, also known as having functional biological impulses, very extreme, very right wing. I know, right? The article then goes on to basically suggest that those advocating an increase in people having babies only want certain kinds of people, specifically white conservative people. I made the Shinzo Abe joke here. To have babies, and that essentially they're all far-right racists. Incredible. As we highlighted earlier, the fertility rates in the U.S. has fallen to an all-time low as recorded by CDC and continues to decline at a rate around 2% every year. In 1960, the U.S. total fertility rate was 3.65 births per woman. In 2023, it was 1.6. The average fertility rate needed to maintain a population is 2.1 children for every woman. That's not a conspiracy theory. That is literal math. A major study published in the scientific journal Lancet earlier this year found that the global population will start to fall within decades due to vastly reduced fertility rates and may never recover. The study found the global fertility rate is currently 2.23, hovering only just above the replacement rate. Commentating on the study, the co-author, Dr. Natalia, I'm not even going to bother that name, said declining fertility rates will completely reconfigure the global economy and international balance of power and will necessitate reorganizing societies. It's not just a bunch of far-right people at this nerdy conference making it up. And a bunch of twatter memes. I'm not going to go over all of them, so that's that. Okay, so I have to see, is Bong still going, or is he done? Oh my god, he finished. Oh shit. Okay. So, yep, that was that. So, that's all the news articles I have lined up. Grandpa's tired. So, thanks for coming. Take it easy. Later.